Hello children, welcome to our revision class of Standard 10, first chapter, The Rise of Nationalism in Europe. First, we will refresh the contents of the chapter. We have already covered in our explanation session of the chapter. And what are they? The French Revolution and the idea of the nation, the making of nationalism in Europe, the age of a revolution between 1830 and 1848, the making of Germany and Italy. Then we will be revising also visualizing the nation, and at the end nationalism and imperialism. But children, we will cover all these topics in 3 parts for your better understanding, as we are covering the chapter in perspective of your exam. We can say that we are having a snap recap of the chapter. Right, children? So first we will start with the image which gives the message. Now what message does it give? That democratic and social republic, right? And it was a feeling of nationalism as illustrated by a French artist, Frederic Soriot, right? And when was it? It was in the year 1848, right? And what was it? He had prepared a series of 4 prints, right? How many prints? 4 prints, visualizing his dream of a world made up of democratic and social republic. What kind of world, children? Democratic and social republic. Okay. Now, there was an emergence of a nation state. Now, what is a nation state, children? It refers to a country which has its defined boundary, people sharing same culture, history and ethnicity and so on. Right, children? But this nation state is different from the modern state. Now, what is a modern state? Modern state is a state in which a centralized power has been exercised, right, in a sovereign control over a clearly defined territory and had been developing over a long period of time in Europe. Right, children? How is this painting so important in terms of nationalism? This painting depicted Frederic Soriot's dream of a world free from the absolutistic institution and the establishment of democratic and the social republics. Now, in the forefront, you will find some of the remains of the broken crowns here. Now that shows, or it symbolizes, the downfall of the absolute monarchy. And on the top here, you can find the angels' blessings, right? Similarly, here you can find here people marching, right, with the flags. Can you find here with their flags, right? Yes, they are marching towards the liberty or towards freedom. Towards freedom, right? We can see the statue of liberty over here. You can see she is holding a torch of enlightenment and also a book of charter. We can say it is a book which is called as a charter of the rights of men, right? Like how we have a constitution in every country. Similarly, this is a charter of the right of men. Clear, children? I hope you are clear till this much. This print or vision of Frederick Sorio was considered to be an utopian vision. Now, what is meant by utopian vision? It refers to vision of a society that is so ideal that is unlikely to actually exist. We can say in simple word, an imaginary vision. Clear, children? Now again the question comes to our mind. How the idea of nation state starts to emerge? It started to emerge after the French Revolution, children. I hope, children, you still remember what you have studied about French Revolution in your class 9. Yes, the feeling of nationalism started spreading into other parts of Europe also after the French Revolution. Clear? Now we will see the next topic. French Revolution and the idea of a nation. France played a very important role in the formation of a nation state. We can say that the foundation of nationalism in Europe began in France only. Therefore, what is the first expression of nationalism? It is the power of the people. But how to unite the people? Because till 1789, France was under the absolute monarchy. However, the first clear expression of nationalism came with the French Revolution, and it was in 1789. The political and constitutional changes that came in the wake of French Revolution led to the transfer of the sovereignty from the monarchy to the body of French citizens. The idea of la patrie, that is fatherland, and les citoyens, that is the citizen. Clear, children? Then the tricolor French flag. This is what the tricolor French flag looks like. Then the election of Estate General for National Assembly. Actually, the Estate General was renamed as the National Assembly, and then it was elected by the body of the active citizens. Then the new hymns and the oaths were taken. Children, if you remember, while explaining the chapter, I had told you that it was exactly like when the freedom struggle in our country took place. Our freedom fighters, the revolutionaries, they wrote the songs in our country. They wrote a national anthem in our country. Similarly, new hymns and oaths were taken in France also. Then the French armies, they moved into Holland, Belgium, Switzerland and Italy in the 1790s to give liberation. That is, they promised that they will give liberation to the people from their despotic rulers in the other European countries, or in these European countries, that is in Holland, Belgium, Switzerland and Italy. Am I clear with this, children? Along with that, the centralized administrative system was also brought so that there will be uniform regulation of the administrative system. To bring uniformity, the internal custom duties and dues were abolished. There were different weights and measurements in different places within the territories. So, uniform system of weight and measurement was introduced. And not only that, children, regional languages were discouraged and French language became a common national language. So children, all these points are related to the question how a sense of collective identity was created. Now we will see when Napoleon came to the power, what happened. When Napoleon came to the power, he brought many reforms in the administrative field in order to make the entire system more rational and efficient. He introduced the Civil Code in the year 1804, and that is called as the Civil Code of 1804, or it is also called as a Napoleonic Code. Understand, children? Now, what is this? The first point is to abolish or to give away the privileges based on the birth. Next is to establish equality before the law. Then the third one is to secure the right to property. That is, everyone has the right to property. Napoleon also simplified the administrative division by abolishing the feudal system, right? And also the peasants were freed from the serfdom. I hope children you all remember the meaning of serfdom, right children? That is being a bonded labor, right? And also the manorial dues, that is the peasants who were working under the feudal lords, right? They were staying in their own manors, right? And they were working for the landlords or the feudal lords. So these people, they were freed from, the peasants, they were freed from the serfdom as well as the manorial dues. The guilt restrictions which were imposed on the associations in terms of trade or manufacturing were removed. In fact, children, Napoleon introduced many measures to remove the guild restrictions and allowed merchants and the artisans and many others to trade freely. Then the transportations and the communication systems improved, right? But this initial enthusiasm soon turned into hostility and oppositions when it became visible that the new administrative arrangements did not go hand in hand with the political freedom, like increased taxes. Then the censorships were imposed on the people, and the common people were forced to join the French army to conquer the rest of Europe. Now all these seemed to outweigh the advantage of the administrative changes, that is the negative points of Napoleon. Understand, children? Then in the year 1815, a battle of Waterloo took place wherein Napoleon was defeated by 4 countries, and they were Britain, Russia, Austria and Prussia. You can make a code of it as I told you during the explanation also, that is BRAP, B-R-A-P, right? And after his defeat, a Treaty of Vienna was signed, right? And as a result of that, as a result of Treaty of Vienna, Napoleon was overthrown and the Bourbon dynasty was restored back. Clear? And after the Treaty of Vienna, after the Bourbon dynasty, we can see the conservative ideas, the conservatives, they were brought back, right? And the many territories which were annexed by Napoleon were given to different or were merged into different countries. We will see all these things in the next video. Children, Clear with all these points whichever we have discussed till now? I hope all these things are very clear to you all, right? The remaining we will discuss in the next video, right? So that all the points are very clear to you all. Clear, children? Till then, go through the videos properly, go through your chapters properly till whatever we have covered. Read each and every subtopics, each and every points which can be you can get it in your objective questions, your fill in the blanks, match the following, your one sentences, and also when you compile all these topic points, you can get a brief answer also, and it will be easy for you to solve if you study point by point. Understand, children? It becomes easy for you to solve the brief answers also, right? So study well. Thank you.